A very good evening all. I am Aditi Lamba with the Tues night edition of South Asian News, Vision of Asia. We are coming to you from our studio in New York City. Welcome to the show. Let's begin by taking a look at the coronavirus pandemic and its impact. The world has surpassed 100 million cases of COVID-19 with more than 2 million deaths. In the United States, we are at 25.3 million coronavirus cases with at least 421,000 deaths. Quite a grim milestone we have reached as a global community. Tomorrow, we could learn that January has been the deadliest month, with the nation recording 3,000 deaths per day and averaging about 170,000 cases daily. The number of hospitalized COVID-19 patients is averaging about 110,000. So again, we hope you all are following the 3 key guidelines of social distancing, hand hygiene, and mask wearing. Across the country, health experts and leaders and state officials have been working to enhance their vaccination strategies and boost the number of shots, which is currently rolling out slow, and many states are struggling with the supply of COVID-19 vaccines from Pfizer and Moderna. President Biden has said that he expects the country will be soon able to vaccinate 1.5 million people a day. Meanwhile, there are 4 variants of the coronavirus, which is being closely watched by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, as they appear to be more transmissible. In politics, senators were sworn in today as jurors for the impeachment trial of former Vice President Trump. The trial is set to begin the week of February 8th. Meanwhile, President Joe Biden focused on equity today, signing a series of executive actions on police reform, prison reform, and public housing. And India, home to many of our viewers, celebrated its 72nd Republic Day, honoring the Indian Constitution that came into effect 71 years ago. So we have tonight highlights on the occasion of India's Republic Day and its connection to South Americans, and along with healthcare professionals and doctors on coronavirus updates. Here are the headlines. Dr. Sandeep Jain discusses COVID-19 vaccine rollout program, Statcare urgent care walk-in medical care, New York. Filmmaker Radha Bhardwaj's Space Mom pays tribute to women achievers. India commemorates 72nd Republic Day 2021 featuring Rajpath Parade in Consulate Journal of India, New York. It's time for a show break on Vision of Asia South Asian segment. We'll be back. And welcome back. I'm Aditi Lama and this is Vision of Asia, Tuesday night episode of South Asian News. Let's take a look at coronavirus pandemic measures and updates. The nation continues to see a surge in coronavirus cases that are overwhelming hospitals all across, with many at capacity running out of ventilators and intensive care unit beds. The U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention said that today, at least 23.5 million doses of COVID vaccine have been in the country and has distributed more than 44 million doses. More than 3.3 million are fully vaccinated. The numbers are far from what officials had hoped for, but President Joe Biden said that he's hopeful that the vaccination rollout would start to speed up and is hopeful that the country could soon start administering 1.5 million vaccine daily, which will be 50% faster pace than right now. Meanwhile, health experts across the nation are extremely worried about the new COVID-19 variants that have been detected in the US from the UK, South Africa, and Brazil, and have said that these variants are more transmissible. Nation's leading health expert Dr. Anthony Fauci has said that the vaccines can be effective against COVID variants, saying that there is enough cushion with the vaccine that we have that we still consider them to be effective against both UK strain and the South African strain. Moderna is expecting its vaccine also to be effective against the coronavirus, but is now testing boosters to improve immunity. So how do these variants impact us, and what should we be doing to protect ourselves? We spoke with expert Dr. Sandeep Jain. Here is Dr. Jain. So, another question about vaccine that's coming in. There are a lot of new variants that have come from the UK and Africa as well. How concerned are you about those variants, especially in New York, because they're saying it's more transmissible? And also, do you think these vaccines, the ones that we already have and the ones that are in the making, would be effective against it?
Yes, that's a very, very good question. As you know, coronaviruses have been around for hundreds of years, and naturally they keep mutating. This particular variant of the coronavirus is no different in that sense. It keeps mutating, which means it keeps changing its structure. As long as it doesn't change too much in the spike protein, we're okay. Now, a couple of these variants that they found, there is a structural change in the spike protein. The spike protein is responsible for the human infection. Now, when they looked at the 3D transformational images, they're finding that it is not sufficient, that the vaccine won't work. And they're actually doing studies right now as we speak This vaccine it's predicted that it would work in the Norway variant, it would work possibly in the Denmark variant, and the variant that's in South Africa. Unfortunately, from a public health perspective, previously this virus was really affecting the older populations. Right now, these variants, they're targeting younger people. And the one in South Africa, for example, is actually targeting teenagers and kids. So it's almost like we now have a mutation for every age group. So from a public health perspective, it's really key to get vaccinated more than ever before.
You know, I have to ask you this now. What are your predictions for the next 2 months in terms of vaccine?
I wish you'd asked me the predictions for the next 2 years. In terms of vaccines, I think the vaccines will keep coming. There are more and more vaccines coming out, Johnson & Johnson, AstraZeneca, Glaxo. I mean, we'll have more and more vaccines available for Americans. So that's the good news. The not so good news is this virus is now in the community. It'll probably become just like the flu. It's going to be living with us until we find a drug. I personally don't see much changing until 2023.
What's your biggest advice to our audience right now that are still waiting for the vaccine and are worried?
I would say not to worry. The American government, our state government is going to take care of you. They're doing a phenomenal job in communicating with providers like us. They're doing a phenomenal job in supporting people like us. We're going to get the vaccine to you. Meanwhile, you survived since last February until now. This is not the time to give up. This is not the time to let your guards down. Wear a mask, insist on a mask. And also make sure you stay 6 feet away, because the virus gets transmitted through saliva that's thrown in the air when you talk. When you're 6 feet away, your chances of getting contaminated is very low. So if you did those two things right, you will still remain safe and we will be able to give you the vaccine.
We have now a promotional segment on writer, filmmaker Radha Bhardwaj's movie titled Space Moms. Inspired by a true story of the women engineers behind India's 2014 Mars orbiter mission, Space Mom tells the story of normal middle-class working women who happen to be rocket scientists working on this very important mission. The movie recounts how India became the first nation to place a spacecraft into Mars orbit on its very first try. It is a story not only just for South Asians, but for people who can connect to the themes of love, hard work, family, persistence, and rooting for the underdog. Space Mom hopes to inspire the younger generation to pursue their education, especially in STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Here is a promo for Space Moms released by Random Media and directly written by Radha Bhardwaj, starring Bhavna Pani, Swati Das, and MD Pallavi.
Not all heroes wear capes. Some heroes wear saris.
We've got the green light, Saraswati. The green light for the red planet.
Mom's the word. Mars Orbiter Mission, acronym MOM.
The big news today is on space exploration. India will send a satellite to Mars.
Take a good look, my friends. This will be our 24/7 preoccupation for the next 14 months. So, spend some time with your families tonight. You won't be seeing much of them in the coming months.
No country that succeeded in the Mars mission did so on the first try, not even the US. But we don't have the budget for trial and error.
14 months to design and build the orbiter from scratch.
Why is it doing this? There must be some flaw in our model. We're running out of time. If the ship's not in place, we can't launch on the 28th.
We can't control the storm, Shanti. No one likes it. But storms don't care.
Trust your team. We won't let you down.
A story of modern India, where space-age achievements are rooted in an ancient culture.
Mitraya Namaha.
A story of normal middle-class working moms.
What's going on? Are you all bullying my son?
I want you in bed by 12, okay? No watching TV and drink your milk.
who just so happen to be rocket scientists by day and by night, fighting impossible odds and learning the value of tenacity and courage and teamwork. From award-winning writer-director Radha Bhardwaj comes a tale of love and family and pride and hope and inspiration. A celebration of girl power.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, ignition.
Now.
First dramatic production inspired by the women of India's Mars mission. The original, Space Moms.
Well, it's time for the short break on Vision of Asia, Voice of the Community. We'll be right back. And welcome back. I am Diti Lama and this is Vision of Asia South Asian News segment. Home to many South Asians living in the US, India celebrated its 72nd Republic Day, marking and honoring India's constitution, which came into effect in 1950, 71 years ago. It is also the day when India declared Purna Swaraj. The day is observed with celebrations that happen in India's capital, New Delhi, with a huge parade presided over by the President and Prime Minister of the country with a message of solidarity in diversity. It is a day of pride and togetherness for the global Indian community, celebrating their patriotism for India. This year saw minimal festivities because of the coronavirus, with a shorter parade, fewer spectators, fewer soldiers in the parade. All the attendees had to comply with COVID-19 advisory, which included temperature check, use of hand sanitizer, mask wearing, and social distancing. We have tonight highlights from New Delhi celebration through the parade that featured all the states of India displaying cultural heritage. Following that, we have some highlights coming in from the New York Indian Consulate's commemoration of Republic Day of India, featuring flag hoisting and an address by Consul General Randhir Jaiswal.
We are here at the Consulate of India in New York, celebrating the 72nd Republic Day of India. This is an occasion to reaffirm our commitment to the Constitution, which we enacted and adopted on this day 71 years ago. We normally celebrate this day with great fervor and enthusiasm with friends of India and the Indian American community gathered here in this ballroom. These are unprecedented times. We have not been able to have everyone in this ballroom this year, but many of you have joined us through Facebook.
आप सभी को गणतंत्र दिवस के शुभ अवसर पर मेरी ढेर सारी शुभकामनाएं। इस अवसर पे हमारे साथ फेसबुक लाइव पे हमारे मित्रगण जुड़े हुए हैं, उनको भी गणतंत्र दिवस के शुभ अवसर पर ढेर सारी शुभकामनाएं। मैं भारत के राष्ट्रपति श्री रामनाथ कोविंद द्वारा दिए गए देश के नाम, राष्ट्र के नाम संदेश गणतंत्र दिवस के पूर्व संध्या पर मैं आपके सामने प्रस्तुत करूंगा। मेरे प्यारे देशवासियों, नमस्कार। विश्व के सबसे बड़े और जीवंत लोकतंत्र के आप सभी नागरिकों को देश के 72वें गणतंत्र दिवस की पूर्व संध्या पर हार्दिक बधाई। विविधताओं से समृद्ध हमारे देश के अनेक त्योहार मनाए जाते हैं, परंतु हमारे राष्ट्रीय त्योहारों को सभी देशवासी राष्ट्र प्रेम की भावना के साथ मनाते हैं। गणतंत्र दिवस का राष्ट्रीय पर्व भी हम पूरे उत्साह के साथ मनाते हुए अपने राष्ट्रीय ध्वज तथा संविधान के प्रति सम्मान व आस्था व्यक्त करते हैं। आज का दिन देश विदेश में रहने वाले सभी भारतीयों के लिए बहुत महत्वपूर्ण है।
धीरे धीरे आगे बढ़ती हुई और उधर आकाश में राष्ट्रपति भवन की ओर से 4 Mi-17 V5 हेलीकॉप्टर वाइन ग्लास फॉर्मेशन में।
With them have Bangladesh Navy led by Captain Dipanshu Shuran. The 61 Cavalry is the only active serving horse cavalry. Dev Singh Bhangu of 54 Armoured Regiment. The MBT of the main battle tank is designed.
राजपथ पर देश रेजिमेंट का अंग है, जिसका आदर्श वाक्य है डू इट राइट फर्स्ट टाइम एंड एवरी टाइम। युद्ध घोष
All eyes towards the sky for the diamond in the air. Advanced light helicopters flying in a perfect diamond formation. These are
में कराची बंदरगाह पर हुए आक्रमण को दर्शाया गया है। ये झांकी 1971 के भारत पाकिस्तान।
And coming up next is the Indian Air Force Tableau. Indian Air Force touched the sky with glory. The Indian Air Force pilots guard our skies with great panache.
हम रंग रंग हैं, फिर भी संग हैं, तीन रंग का एक निशान। एनएसजी का आदर्श वाक्य सर्वोत्र सर्वोत्तम सुरक्षा। चाहे कैसी भी प्रतिकूल परिस्थितियां हों, उसका मुंहतोड़ जवाब देने में सक्षम राष्ट्रीय सुरक्षा गार्ड का यह दस्ता, जिसमें श्वान दस्ते भी शामिल रहते हैं, उन्नत तकनीक का सहारा।
The Union Territory of Ladakh with a theme, Vision to the Future. Ladakh is known for her tranquil beauty and dramatic landscape. If that tableau inspired you to go to Ladakh, the tableau from Gujarat will certainly tempt you to see for yourselves the exquisite Sun Temple of Modera. This intricately carved temple was built in the 11th century by King Bhim of the Chalukyas.
ध्यान लगाए मौन है, वीराने में तपता योगी कौन है। नाद न कोई तारा, डमरू कभी कबारा, अधमूंदी आंखों से।
कबीरा भक्ति मार्ग का करें बखान पागल
Captain Pranav Sisodia, commanding officer of 81 Squadron. Flanking him on two MiG-29 aircrafts piloted by Group Captain Kapildeep Singh, commanding officer of 223 Squadron, and his flight commander, Wing Commander Ankur Hakim.
Well, this wraps up our show for the night. Please send us your suggestions and get your voices and organization on our show. Email us on events@itvgold.com or follow us on Facebook at itvgold. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel for free access to many of our popular shows. Thank you for joining us tonight. From Phoenix, New York, this is Vision of Asia. I am Aditi Lamba. Take care and be well.